Before the keys, before the contract, before the cute we're under contract selfie, there's this. Think of it as the Declaration of Independence to your real estate transaction. It's the Magna Carta of your lease deal. Every great nation has a founding document, and in a real estate lease transaction here in North Carolina, it's the standard form 521. So hello landlords, if you're receiving this, we're going to read through this entire document together because I think so many times that's overlooked. And like I said, I was exaggerating maybe with the Declaration of Independence and Magna Carta comparison, but this is what starts our relationship together. Even though it doesn't form the relationship, it does disclose the different forms, how that relationship can look essentially. So what I'd like to do is read it verbatim, word for word, with absolutely no commentary. It'll be a little dry, but try to take it all in. It's a pretty straightforward document. It's really not any terrifying legalese or anything like that. It is written for anyone to understand. But then I am going to come back through and hit what I think are some of the most important points. And afterwards, you can select how you would like to proceed, what type of agency, and I look forward to it. So here we go. Working with real estate agents, lease transactions for landlords. This is standard form 521. There is a cute little note at the top. I will point out, sorry, I said no commentary, but I'm going to point out the structure of it because I do want you to have your printed version of this as well. So note, this form is designed for use by agents working with landlords. It is similar, but not identical to the Working with Real Estate Agents disclosure for sellers, published by North Carolina Real Estate Commission, available as NCR Standard Form number 520, which must be used by agents working with sellers. Important. This form is not a contract. Signing this disclosure only means you've received it. In a real estate lease transaction, it is important that you understand whether an agent represents you. Real estate agents should 1. Review this form with you at first substantial contact before asking for or receiving your confidential information, and 2. Give you a copy of the form after you sign it. This is for your own protection. Do not share any confidential information with a real estate agent or assume that the agent is acting on your behalf until you have entered into a written agreement with the agent to represent you. Otherwise, the agent can share your confidential information with others. Note to agent, check all relationship types below that may apply to this landlord. And what I just read you was the first box with the important heading in it. And then the second box just has the 4, or what I like to call the 3.5 different types of agency. So now let's read those. Number 1 is Landlord's Agency, the listing agent. The agent who gave you this form and the agent's firm must enter into a written listing agreement with you before they begin to market your property for lease. If you sign the listing agreement, the listing firm and its agents would then represent you. The tenant would either be represented by an agent affiliated with a different real estate firm or be unrepresented. The next middle box is dual agency and designated dual agency. And I call this the 1.5 because it's not really two separate things. But dual agency will occur if your listing firm has a tenant client who wants to lease your property. If you agree in written agency agreement, the real estate firm and any agent with the same firm or company would be permitted to represent you and the tenant at the same time. A dual agent's loyalty would be divided between you and the tenant, but the firm and its agents must treat you and the tenant fairly and equally and cannot help you gain an advantage over the other party. And then designated dual agency is a hybrid of that. If you agree in a written agency agreement, the real estate firm would represent both you and the tenant, but the firm would designate one agent to represent you and a different agent to represent the tenant. Each designated agent would be loyal only to their client. And then the final separated box says tenant agent working with an unrepresented landlord for lease by owner. The agent who gave you this form will not be representing you and has no loyalty to you. The agent will represent only the tenant. Do not share any confidential information with this agent. Note to landlord. For more information on a real estate agent's duties and services, refer to the North Carolina Real Estate Commission's questions and answers on Working with Real Estate Agents brochure at ncrec.gov, Publications, Q&A brochures, or ask an agent for a copy of it. And the link will be attached in the description of this video. And the last part of the document is just acknowledging that you have received it. Again, not a binding contract, just an acknowledgement. It'll have your name, your signature and date, as well as the agent's name, their license number, and the firm or company name. So again, not too wordy of legalese, but it's not the most exciting read. But let's dive in just a little bit deeper, and I'm just going to hit the most important points, starting with the note at the very top where it says must be used by agents working with sellers. On the buy-sell side of things, this is obligatory, and if you're going to be moving into any buy-sell transactions, this could be a good time to practice using this document and becoming familiar with which are essentially the exact same forms of agency. Then right under the word important, it says this form is not a contract. So again, I'm not forcing a contract on anything on you. I'm just forcing some education on you. And by signing it, you're just acknowledging that you understand these 4 types of agency. If you don't sign it, please. We need to have a further discussion. And that's the whole reason we're doing it this way. And once you do sign, you'll receive a copy back. And again, don't share any confidential information with me until we do decide what type of agency we're going to enter into and if it's appropriate for you to disclose at that time. So now let's look at the 4 types. Of course, landlord agency would be my recommendation, where essentially my brokerage or my firm would become your listing agent. And that's going to give us, the best marketability, allow us to market the property fully, but also allow me to show 100% loyalty to you. Dual agency is often something that will arise, so we definitely need to understand this concept fully. If I'm listing your property, I also do work with a lot of prospective tenants, so it's very possible one of them is going to like your beautiful property. And in that case, we do need to have probably a little longer conversation about dual agency. But I can either represent both of you, would be permitted to represent you and the tenant at the same time. A dual agent's loyalty would be divided between you and the tenant. Another option is I could have somebody else from my brokerage represent the tenant. And in that case, it would be the same firm representing both of you. However, we would each have our own set loyalty only to who we were representing. And then the last form is the tenant agent working with an unrepresented landlord or the for lease by owner, which is kind of how the status is right now, probably, if I'm reaching out to you. But please do reach out with any additional questions you have, and we can set the best form of agency that works for you and move forward to get your property leased.